we get that because we're insuring our employees and they're not on Medicaid, so they're actually giving us incentive payment. Now, the real question is, because we have a lot of ineligible people, I don't know, in the process of transferring those that are eligible, how much of that $100,000 we're gonna lose, but,
Well, I guess
it has to be added into the equation now.
Right.
It's something we didn't know.
You're not gonna lose $100,000.
No, I understand that, but how much are we gonna lose? Has someone run that calculation?
No, the way I understood it,
This is a different concept.
right,
We get a subsidy because we offer a better prescription plan to our retirees. Through medics.
Through medics.
Right.
The federal government doesn't have to pay for it because we offer this prescription. So they say, thank you very much, we'll take some of our savings, we'll share it with you.
So it's got nothing to do with those employees that are not on Medicaid?
Right.
Okay. So we don't lose any of it.
And again, the
Actually, it'll increase,
right.
because
Well,
we're putting more on. I would think.
possibly.
All right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
just again, to recap, the savings just on the premiums it could be up to $170,000. So that would be the premium plus the fact that we'd be rearranging our pool of employees. And that would also net out the cost of the penalty. So we have estimating in about $30,900 annually for the penalty cost.
And the effects on the retirees are what? Do we have that quantified again, yet?
In terms of what their premium would be,
Their premium and their out-of-pocket costs, coverage for that matter.
Steve, I think that the premiums may be a little bit more, your coverage would be better, but whereas, the age of home now, they have out-of-pocket expenses, I don't believe that they would have any admits.
And have we had a meeting with these retirees associated with this issue?
we have,
And only one person's been bugging me on the phone, so I don't know.
no, we presented factual information to our employees.
Mhm.
We didn't expect that everyone was gonna be jumping up and down and all excited about the option, but what we wanted to do was give them information so that they at least has some information to go back to their membership, go back to other retirees, and also the active employees had an opportunity to come to that. Hopefully at some point there'll be retirees also, so.
Mhm.
There was no vote or consensus taken as a result of that meeting, it was just a matter of getting the information out to them.
So I'm not sure I'm prepared to make a recommendation one way or the other tonight.
I'd like to get a little more educated on it.
Mhm.
I'm still not clear. Hard to believe.
Could we try to find out what would be the reduction in outstanding liability, as was discussed by the auditor tonight, if we make the shift into 18?
Yeah, because that's another benefit we haven't taken into account.
We mentioned that in the presentation, we made note of that, but we couldn't quantify what the number was, we didn't know.
Can we attempt to try to get that answered before town meeting?
I have that down. I'm gonna talk to the people that did the actuarial study the first time,
Mhm.
and ask them if we did make that one switch, they could give us a ballpark figure. of-
That'd be great. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, you reduce your unfunded liability.
No, could be
that's-
significant.
You're right, that's what you're doing, yeah.
Right. Nice to know what that reduction would be.
Okay, so let's see, what have we got for meeting schedule? We're meeting on ALS next Monday, which is the
24.
4,
24th.
and town meeting on the 7th.
And town meeting on the 7th, that's last year. The old guy. That didn't look right. So meeting on the 24th, the 31st is Memorial Day, so the next Monday will be our final meeting, you know, unless we elect to do something. So we've got just ALS on the agenda right now. So I think, can we get to a point where we can have a discussion and maybe come up with a recommendation on this health insurance, or Article 18A? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to be right before town meeting.
In other words, we won't be able to discuss it by next Monday.
I think we're looking for that number that Sean asked for.
Yeah, that might be 12 million, it might be 20 million, that's okay. Whatever that number is, I just like some more information as to the actual effects on the retirees. I mean, we don't know the dollars and cents, the dollars and cents savings you have, but really, how's it gonna affect people?
Right.
I think,
Is there anything I can read up on?
I mean, does Allison have something?
It's hard to
Don't
get,
We'll get you as much as we can. We've been
I
talking.
don't have to, I can go to it, you just send me there and I'll take care of it. I know you're busy.
No.
No need to generate anything special for me, I will go to the
I
information.
mean, I've been sitting in on all this stuff too, and I'm still not totally clear yet. I don't think that,
Well, what we do have is
I know what the savings to the town is,
Okay.
but I still don't
He-
know
what
what the
Steve is-
effect on the retirees has been properly quantified for me.
well, I'll tell you what one of them is, okay? Currently, we're paying 70% on the existing plan that they have.
70 or 50 for retirees?
70 for the HMO.
70 on the HMO. I thought we were paying 50 across the board. So on the Medicare, we're paying 50. Right, but also the Medicare cost is funded by the federal government too. So we're paying 50% of whatever essentially they have to pay add-on. So that would be Medicare Part B, or whatever they call it on the municipal side, and then a supplemental insurance, which is what the Medex, is that what the supplemental insurance is, Greg?
Medics 3.
Right. So what I know about the supplemental insurance is, you know, because I take it, is you can pick and choose from, you know, a number of different kinds of plans at different costs to manage your own coverage. You know, some have big donut holes, some work differently. A lot of it's got to do with the prescription drug aspect of it. So, you know, to analyze, it's difficult because you don't know, generally, right, the typical person is probably gonna save some money. In other words, even spend less. I'm sure there's some in that group that may have very high drug costs, and they exceed the, you know, they get into the donut hole, and they gotta pay out a chunk of money, and then, you know, before it comes back on and covered. So I'm not sure how we can easily get to that information, you know, with looking at each one. We might consider something as of calculating some kind of a cap and saying anybody that gets to this cap, you know, come in with your receipts and we'll reimburse you beyond that. I mean, you know, but I'm not sure we're gonna have those answers this quick, that's the problem.
We can't be the only town faced with this, right? I mean, can we learn maybe from some of the, our surrounding towns that have maybe addressed this already? Can we maybe put a phone call?
Honestly, the discussion in most other towns is not contentious. It's a policy level discussion. It's done, and that's the end of it. It's turned into a political hot potato here.
Yeah, this was attempted back, remember, Steve, how many, it was a while ago?
3 years ago?
3, somewhere in that time frame. And of course, at that time, town meeting was packed with the retirees, and it went down the,
8 current employees.
yeah, went down
Next
the
up.
tubes pretty
They will
quick,
be
so,
on retirees.
That's right.
right. But then the savings was only calculated to be $40,000.
Just a quick, for example, single plan, HMO, retiree, his or her out-of-pocket payment is $173 a month today. If you go under the Medex plan, that out-of-pocket premium payment is $230. So you can see that there's an increase in the cost to the retiree as a result of doing this. And that's just a quick snapshot. Obviously, if you have, family plan is considerably more expensive, and we'd have to come up with the cost of this, but it just gives you an idea that if you had a single retiree, they'd end up paying the difference between $173 a month and $230 a month. That would be their cost plus any additional out-of-pocket cost. that gets paid.
Do they get any IRS benefits associated with that payment? So is it non-taxable?
Only if they get over 7.5% of their adjusted gross income and they itemize their deductions, otherwise no.
So for them to
Like you asked
pay.
me now, you're just fresh
No,
off a tax season.
I mean, because you gotta look at it, you have to look at it from their perspective, okay?
Right.
To pay 200, they have to go and earn 3 or, close to 300, so, or 300, exactly, so.
So, but they have to itemize, and then they have to get over the 7.5% of the adjusted
No,
gross
no.
income in order to even
We
get,
just
in
have
order
to-
to get a dollar.
You should just be sensitive to it.
Yeah.
They have to earn it, they have to
Yeah.
go and earn that money. Okay.
Sounds like you're making another
On
calculation.
the family plan, the retiree, pretty rare that you have retirees on family plans,
I
but
think
if it's
so.
a husband and wife, let's say,
Hmm.
but the cost is $464 a month to the employee premium. And if they were to shift to two single plans on the medics, then it would be $460. Excuse me, yeah, $460, so it's roughly the same. The real hit is to the individual who's a single person on the
And then you've got the benefit costs of
Well,
prescriptions and
I
everything
mean,
else.
I mean, one of the things we could do is take a look at the cost savings and take a look at the hit they're taking and see if we can come up with an
Self-funded
adjustment there.
pool. Yeah, maybe put
I think
allocates
that
into
the
it.
factor is
But
that
were we
there,
told that we couldn't do that? Or is that just the GIC doesn't allow it?
it was the
GIC.
GIC.
See, I
GIC
think.
doesn't allow
We
that.
can, create,
No, but the other thing is you're
reimbursement
paying the retirees, which is kind of interesting, is you're paying them 70% of their existing plan and only 50% of the
Right, Medicare.
So, yeah, so.
the Medicare.
Okay.
So if you were paying 70% of the Medicare, that issue would go away altogether.
What is driving the 50% is our contract. Our contract?
You mean the 50% for retirees?
Yeah.
It's what the statute provides for when you're paying a Medicare plan.
Oh, okay, so that's it.
Statutory.
Yeah, okay. But there's nothing against us providing some kind of a,
Well, it appears as
A
though it
reimbursement
would be for
program.
that. Maybe not for the basic plan.
oh, yeah, there may be,
But
yeah.
for Medicare,
yeah.
yeah. Statutorily, you're only
Yeah.
allowed 50%. You can't say, here's your 50%, from your paycheck.
Yeah, we,
You know,
yeah,
from your
right,
retirement,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, From your pension, and by the way, here's another 20 for you over here on the side. Doesn't work, yeah. Doesn't work.
All right, well, we're not gonna resolve it tonight, but there are questions that have been asked, so.
Article 24 is funding retirement obligations. This is between the town and the schools, and the amount would be $392,780.
How much of that is town employees this year?
About
Roughly.
$122,000. And that would be raised and appropriate.
Okay,
Article 25 is funding the snow deficit. And the amount would be $197,576 in free cash. Article 26 is funding the retirement trust fund, and we don't have money to do that. So it would be zero,
we'll be passing that over.
pass over. Article 27 is funding the wastewater project. That's obviously a project that the board may want to decide you want to provide.
Funding the wastewater what?
It's just an amount to provide funding for the wastewater project. We don't have a recommendation.
No, we'll be passing over that, yeah.
Article 28 is funding additional energy conservation